This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Thank God it's July right now. No, welcome to Books and Bullshit, where the topics are made up and your opinions do not matter.
Even though we ask you for them every week.
Yes, but that basically is my disclaimer to disregard whatever the fuck I don't agree with you and say the shit that I want to say anyway. So welcome to my house. And Martina's here too.
Whose house?
Ron's house. Or were you making fun of the main character of my series? Which is a USA Today bestseller.
He is. Unlike Zach.
I'm going to write a character that's a USA Today bestseller, and that's all he says. It's like, I am Groot. I am USA Today bestselling author. Anyway, welcome to the jungle. Zach sitting here with Martina. Martina, say hi to the people.
Hi to the people.
Word. So, guess what month it is? The best fucking month of the year. Yes. February.
Wrong.
Aww.
Nobody likes February.
That's true.
I mean, maybe people in relationships. But
although next year I like
Valentine's
February because
Day.
it's a leap year, which means that next year, because of leap year, Halloween falls on a Saturday.
Oh, groovy.
Hells to the year. So,
lay down.
Today we're talking about some fun, scurry stuff, specifically urban legends. Not that movie. Although I thought the movie was pretty good.
I actually enjoyed the movie. That was, to me, like peak horror movie time, when things like, I still know what you did, like I know what you did last summer, and I still know what you did last summer,
and like the casting for those movies was on point.
Yeah, because it was like all of the popular stars, not like D-list stars.
Oh no, we wanted a no name. Like, I hate that, because like you started seeing that in a lot of horror movies. Like, we wanted to get no names to really focus on the story, or like, the story wasn't that good and you couldn't get A-listers.
And nobody wanted. Kevin Williamson directed all of those.
Oh, that explains why they're good. But I mean, it's funny because then also what happened that in that era of horror movie is when you had sequels that were also good. Scream 1, 2, and 3. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Urban Legends 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I watched all 3 Scream movies 3 nights ago, actually.
Oh man, that's what I'm all about, man. I love them. I love those movies.
Yeah, this is my favorite time of year. It has all the best movies.
But so urban legends. I mean, what's up 7-Up? You know, if you don't know what urban legends are out there, let me just tell you, you're a fucking idiot.
Think so.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I mean, you know, we're gonna talk about our favorites and what I think are dumb ones. You know, there's all the popular ones like Bloody Mary and the Candyman and My Uncle That Doesn't Touch Kids. Martina, do you have some? What's your favorite urban legend?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I can tell you that to this day, I don't fuck with the Bloody Mary, like no, that urban legend.
Son.
Urban legend or not, I am never going to stand in front of a mirror and say that name, ever.
The Candyman. The Wendigos.
But Candyman was based on a book by Clive Barker.
I know, which is loosely based in the Bloody Mary one. And the origin of Bloody Mary is actually traced back to Ohio, which I think is really cool.
Here's the thing that everybody in the world needs to know about people from Ohio. As somebody who works for Cleveland Clinic in Florida,
I know
that has the main one in Ohio,
yeah.
Every single person from Ohio will tell you they are from Ohio within 10 minutes of meeting you, like Zach tells people he's a USA Today bestselling author.
Here's the thing. On the note of that joke, she's not incorrect because I'm from Ohio.
It's not a joke. It's for real.
So I'm actually at the racetrack a couple of weeks ago, and the couple in front of me, they're older couple.
Are you talking about the gas station or an actual racetrack?
Gas station.
Okay.
And the couple in front of me, they're older couple, and they're getting some things, and they crack a joke, and the cashier doesn't get it. It's like a bad pun, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we're from Ohio. We're just like that." And they're leaving, and I'm walking out behind them, and I'm like, "That must be an Ohio thing." And they turn around and look at me, and I was like, "Do you ever notice how all of us from Ohio just have to tell people we're from Ohio?" And they're like, "Oh, you're from Ohio too?" And I was like, "Yep." And so we all laughed about that for a second. And then the wife goes, "We do tell people we're from Ohio a lot, honey." And he's like, "Yeah, actually, we kind of." It was the weirdest. Like, all three of us realized it, and then we all actually, it's like Dorian Gray seeing his reflection. We all turned into stone and died.
But it's so funny because I get a lot of patients that originally were at Cleveland Clinic, Ohio. And the first thing they say as soon as they get on the table is, "Well, you know, I usually have my testing done in Ohio. I'm from Ohio." It's like, Yeah, I didn't think you flew to Ohio from Florida for your
I'm
cat's
from the
cancer.
original Cleveland
Yeah,
clinic.
and I mean, I get it, but like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to put your IV in and make sure you don't die. That's it. That's my job.
So, what's your favorite urban legend, though? Like, ones you don't fuck with, I get that, because there's some where, like, the story, I'd rather not find out if it's true or not, but I mean, what's your favorite one?
I think my favorite one would have to be the Pop Rocks one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Pop Rocks and soda, because I was obsessed with Pop Rocks when I was a kid, and I still remember somebody saying like, "Oh, you can't drink a soda if you're having Pop Rocks because you'll explode. Your stomach will explode." And even
that's not how that works because we can burp. We're human beings.
Even 5-year-old me was kind of like a skeptical bitch, but not so skeptical I was willing to risk it. But I was totally down with trying to make my friends do it to see what happened to them.
Well, then funny in the movie Urban Legend, obviously they kill people using urban legends, but when they tried that one, they didn't use Pop Rocks, they used Drano, and I'm like, well, a bottle of Drano will fucking kill you anyway.
We learned that in the Heathers.
I haven't seen the Heathers.
What? Mm-mm. That was one of my absolute favorite movies in high school.
That's what I just said. I said I haven't seen the Heathers.
I thought you said we haven't seen
No, he definitely. I was like, I feel like Layla has definitely seen the Heathers.
So that's like your favorite one. Why?
I don't know. I guess because it relates so hard to my childhood, and it was something tangible, like a guy with a hook for a hand. How likely is it that you're gonna? Well, nowadays probably more likely than Pop Rocks, but like at the time, Pop Rocks and soda were very easily accessible.
Florida man arrested with hook for hand killing teenagers.
Yes, exactly. Like, but that was the one that like could actually be something that could happen to you. So like to me, that was far more entertaining than like, oh, the babysitter or the making out or whatever. Like that stuff never, especially when I was little. Like it's not like any of those things applied to me. But if I could force one of my friends to drink soda and eat Pop Rocks and their stomach exploded, that would actually bring some sort of like relevance to my 5-year-old existence.
That's fair. That's fucked up, but that's fair.
I'm a Virgo.
So I also like the depth of urban legends because you have like the platinum ones like that. Then you have other ones like the you eat 30 spiders every night when you're sleeping bullshit. And
that was like 8.
I gotta say my favorite urban legend is actually a local one to where I grew up in Ohio.
Here we go.
There was a local.
Wait a second. Did you mean to do that? Did you mean to state yet again that you are from Ohio?
This is an Ohio urban legend.
No, he didn't mean it. That's what I'm saying. It's like a tick for these people.
What do you mean these people?
I mean you Ohioans.
You leave us Ohioans with our corn.
Yeah, you seem to really enjoy
corn in Ohio, first and foremost. All right. So, but no, there was this old road. I think it was in Avon.
Was it Old Town Road?
Well, at the end of this road, I kid you not, because it was a long, winding road up to an old orphanage. And the orphanage, and I can't remember the name of it, legit back in like the late 60s, early 70s. Okay, so there's two. All right, there's two here. The first one is that one, and then the orphanage actually caught on fire, burned to the ground, and killed like 30 kids that were in there. And it actually happened, but the urban legend comes into play where these kids, this old road was still there, and obviously nothing was built on it because it was in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So at night, if you drove down the road, you could see the kids running alongside of the road with you. So that's creepy as shit, but what people would do is they would take like friends or dates or things like that out into this road and pretend that their car broke down. And when you got out of the car to help, they would drive off and leave your ass on this fucking road and make you walk back to town.
And we have a place like that here in Florida.
Prank. Really?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I think they actually even did I want to say a BuzzFeed Supernatural on it, but it also could be one of those supernatural shows that they used to do like about 10 years ago, like on the Travel Channel, when everybody seemed to have their own paranormal show. There's a road in Florida that they say if you put powder on your, like, you go out into the road and you stop and your car will move forward all by itself.
And you put the powder on the
yeah,
on your
and
bumper,
there'll
you
be
can
like
see
a
the
bunch of little
handprints.
kids like handprints, and it's because supposedly a bunch of kids died there. But I mean, it always sounded like bullshit to me, but it does exist in Florida. There's all kinds of cool things. We should totally buy the Weird Florida book and just start going and finding all of those places, because that would be
cool.
fucking fun.
The other one was I went to Lorraine Middle School, which used to be Lorraine High School, old ass school from the 20s. But in the 40s or 50s, there was a downtown Lorraine had this old like
Downtown Judy Brown.
I was just thinking that.
downtown Lorraine, not downtown Judy Brown, although she hosts 90s on 9 on
I
Sirius.
know, that's what made me think of it.
There's this old Broadway or the Plaza Theater, and it's still there to this day, but it's like this old style theater. And there was a tornado that came through when it was a packed theater for a play, lifted the roof off, and then dropped it back down. But when the roof fucking fell down, it came in on an angle and decapitated over 50 people. Again, this is an actual true story, but what happened is back then they only had like one morgue, and they didn't have places to store the bodies. So it was during the summer and school was out. So they actually used the library at Lorraine Middle School to store like 35, 40 bodies. But what happened was
What had happened was
the school was then listed as stupid fucking haunted by all these bodies that were stored there.
Listed as, was it by the wicked haunted?
It was wicked haunted guy. So
did Stephen King write this?
But there was all this weird shit that would happen, and even the school, the library portion of this school was this old library portion. It was 3 floors. It looked like an old library, but even when I went to school there, it was closed off. You could look in the window, see the old library, all the shelves and everything. It was not used. You were not allowed. It was a locked wing of the school. Again, old ass, big ass school. And so it was really creepy about that old ass, big ass school. That would be a good drag name. So, but anyway, so there was that. So the school was super haunted, but then other students had died in the school, and supposedly as a result of this. So originally the library wing wasn't closed down until one kid hung himself in the library off the 3rd floor rafter, so hanging over the main open part of the library. Then a second kid was killed a few years later. They left their tuba, trombone, something like that, because that used to be where all the music classes were held in the classrooms that ran along the side of the library. And they lifted up one of the windows to crawl in to grab their instrument because it was like for a summer break or something. And when they were halfway through, this big ass old heavy window came down and basically cut them in half. And so, of course, people blame both those things on the ghosts of the school. And so the library was closed down. Nobody ever went in or out of it. And the school was supposedly haunted as shit. So those are the 2 local ones. And I guess they're my favorites because growing up as a kid, I was in those areas. I saw those things. That was always creepy as shit.
All right then.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because I looked up popular urban legends because I feel like I'm forgetting a lot of them.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you about a few of them and see if you remember them. But I will tell you this: I just remember the one is like the killers in the back seat, like they did, just in the urban legend movie. To this day, I will not get into my car.
Oh, I check my back seat
without
first.
Not only now I have an SUV. I check both of them. I check the very back and I check, as I used to call as a child, the way back. And then I check my back seat every fucking day. I don't care how stupid I look. I ain't getting in that fucking car and having somebody pop up from my fucking back seat. Ain't happening. Not to me. But let's talk about some. Like, are you pulling up your own?
No, these are more ones from Ohio.
Oh my god, we get it. You're fucking from Ohio.
The Ohio Frog Man. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking them up. Yeah.
Man?
Oh, here it is. The Gore Orphanage in Vermilion. That's what it was. Vermilion. The Gore Orphanage. Yep. Here's the whole story of it. The pictures of the orphanage.
The orphanage was called Gore.
Gore. Gore Orphanage in Vermilion.
Well,
it's off of. Oh, here's the funny part: is the road, the private road leads up to it that you're not supposed to stop on, is called Gore Road.
Not an urban legend at all, but the people who give away a scholarship for nursing at Cleveland Clinic, it's called the Heartless Scholarship because that's their last name. The Heartless Scholarship for Nursing.
I have another one because I used to have my stepdad gave me this book of haunted houses and places in Ohio, right? And there's one. This one's not.
We should do a drinking game. How many times he mentions the word Ohio?
Yeah.
Well, these are all Ohio based. I can't just say the haunted house. Like where?
Well, you've said 18 times now that these are Ohio based. Maybe just give a city there.
Okay, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think we all know that's in fucking Ohio.
There was a school for girls, and it was a private school where basically all these rich families would dump their kids off. And so over the course of a few weeks one year, the kids started, quote, running away, disappearing. And they like one kid after another, and finally like 7 kids had run away. Until one night, one of the teachers hears like a banging, right? Just a boo, boo, like really weird and sporadic. And so it's coming from the attic. And the teacher goes up into the attic, and I'll have to find the actual story. Maybe we'll talk about it on Patreon or something because I can give more details. But teacher goes up into the attic and finds all the kids that had run away hanging in the attic. And the most recent kid that was missing had hung themselves by a window, and a breeze was coming in, and their legs were swinging and hitting the wall.
I have an idea for our Patreon.
And
What if we get Zach?
What if we have Zach hang himself?
Well, I mean, that'd be entertaining.
Well, work for David Carradine.
No, what if we have Zach read some of these, like, haunted stories, but, like, in, like, a haunted, like...
Not in his Scottish
like,
porn.
Well, 'cause it'd be like...
actually read them, like...
Well, I can't trust you guys to find these stories because I'll start reading it like, it was a cold, dark night, and Steven had just removed the banana from his anus.
Come on, you're ruining everything. That would have been great.
All right, so Martina, what are you pulling up? So did some of our fans in our Facebook group have some things to say about their favorite urban legends or anything?
Let's talk about other urban legends first, because there's a few here that I don't know that maybe you do.
Okay. Did they take place in Ohio?
Yes, I pulled them up specifically.
Also, is anybody in here getting hungry?
I mean, you were asking Layla. She's always hungry. She lives in a constant state of hunger.
It's true.
God, you would be a terrifying zombie.
Right? Oh my God. The zombie that ate Florida.
Who's Florida and why are we eating her?
Oh, poor Florida. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm texting my child. Okay, here we go.
Speaking of eating.
Well, no.
Well, no, I was gonna transfer into a story that I don't know if you want me telling on our podcast.
About her daughter?
No, about you.
What?
Not if it has to do with eating. You always end up offending her.
Yeah, please don't.
Well, no,
Any
well,
more stories about
well, no, it's not actually about eating. But yesterday, I come home and I like strip down and lay on the bed because yesterday was a terrible day at work. And Layla comes in and lays down on the bed with me, and she puts her head on my butt because my butt's squishy. And I like I halfway roll over. And I was like, "You realize this is the closest you've ever been to actually eating my ass?"
Oh yeah, that's not really a story
Wow.
about me.
Romance. They say it's dead.
13 years, we still haven't eaten ass. All right, so you kids don't have to.
Stay
either.
strong, Layla. The
All right.
ankle slicing car thief.
I definitely thought you were gonna say anal.
The anal eating car thief.
I don't think we want anybody anal slicing anybody, especially not during a car theft. I don't think you want to be carjacked and anal sliced.
There's nothing like I got carjacked and ass fucked. Whoa!
It's been a rough night for you,
I
sir.
got ass jacked and car fucked. Wait,
Or both.
yes, it was consensual.
Do you know that one? They keep
they hide
hearing
underneath-
noises under the car.
They hide underneath the car and then they fucking slice your ankles.
Oh, they sever your Achilles tendon ever since fucking Pet Cemetery. That has just been one of those things that I'm just like,
I've heard of that one. Yeah, that's along the lines of the guy with the hook on the hand. But yeah, they hide underneath your fucking car, and when you get close, they fucking slice your Achilles tendon.
well, yeah, because they take out your Achilles tendon and you're going to drop like a fucking stone. I've seen it happen.
So what you're telling me is that now, in addition to checking my back seat,
Now you
I'm
have
gonna
to check
get
under your
down
car.
on my hands and knees every single day and check underneath my car.
Oh, God. Okay, the black dog?
Is that like
It's
the
a
Hounds of Baskerville?
yeah, I think it's like that nocturnal apparition that they see in
That reminded me of one.
What?
Well,
She's so excited.
Well, I mean, it's a really famous one. I'm sure you guys know it. All right, fine. Okay, so this is... I don't... Use your hot
So
voice.
annoying. Stop sexualizing her.
I don't know if this was supposed to take place anywhere.
You mean it didn't take place in
any
Ohio?
specific- Well, hey, you know, for the sake of this
Let's just
podcast,
say it
let's
did.
just say it takes place in Ohio. So there's that old urban legend that you're laying in bed and you're trying to go to sleep, and you know you reach down, like your arm is hanging off the side of the bed, and your dog comes over and licks it. And so you're like, kind of petting it or
Yes,
whatever,
I
and
know
the dog
this
is licking your hand, and you keep hearing this dripping sound, and you're, like from the sink in your bathroom, and you're like, ugh, the sink is broke. So you're laying there trying to sleep, and you can't sleep because the constant dripping, and the dog keeps licking your hand, and you're like, all right, fine. Eventually you get up to go check on the sink, and it's actually not the sink. Your dog has been skinned. It is hanging over your shower.
Yes,
the blood dripping.
Yes,
into
and
the
you're
shower.
like, who
the fuck was licking my hand?
That's not the end of it, though, because then the person turns around and on the mirror written in the dog's blood is humans can lick too.
Yes.
And not just that. The part of the story with that is that had been going on all week.
Yeah.
You find out because that had been her thing all week. Is she been
But now that you like listen to shows like My Favorite Murder and you hear these stories people write in about like, oh, there was a guy who was living under my bed and jerking off for a week and I didn't know it. There was a guy who lived in my attic for a whole year. Like, it's horrifying because it's like just true enough that you're like, oh my God.
That one used to scare me all the time when I was a kid.
How about the tattoos that are temporary tattoos that you have to lick and stick and they're like supposedly LSD?
No, or
Do you remember that one?
The cockroach eggs.
Oh, how about the spider one? Oh, they thought they had a spider bite and then like all these spiders hatch out of their faces and shit. Oh God, that one was
That gets me on way more than one level.
right. Well, for a long time I thought that was a true story. But then have you ever seen that show Monsters Inside Me? No. Dude, I know it sounds creepy. Well, it is creepy, but it's not in a porny way. It's on TLC, and it's basically about people who have all these things. Like one lady went overseas with her husband, and when she came back, she just kept saying that there were things moving around in her head, and she kept getting these headaches. And she's just like, you don't understand. She's like, there's something there. There's something under my skin. I can feel it. And they're like, she's losing her fucking mind. And so finally, she can't take it anymore. And she goes to the doctor. And the doctor's looking at her like she's nuts. And she's sitting there in the ER. And finally, he's like, fine, whatever. She's got fucking worms under her scalp. And they're starting to like poke through.
That I don't know if it's the same woman, but that was on an episode of Bizarre ER.
So yeah. Oh, there was also one with that with bot flies.
Oh my God, did you see the one? I can't remember if it was the Monsters Inside Me or if it was like Tales from the ER or one of those shows where the homeless lady goes in and the worms. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Where she was just like, I got worms, and they're just like, what is she fucking talking about?
Yeah, in her womb.
Yeah, in multiple ones, and then she wouldn't leave the ER without them, so they just put them in a Oh, I was like, oh my God, oh, the disease, lady, you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, those kind of stories, any urban legends that have to do with that sort of thing are way freakier to me than like oh, hippo eats dwarf. Do you remember that story? That
No.
Okay, so there's like it looks like an old circus article, like the old school 20s kind of circus, and the story is like this this dwarf gets tossed and like it goes past where it's supposed to land into like the water, and a hippo swallows it whole.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's reported. It looks like a real news article. It's bullshit. But like the first time I read it, I think I was actually still working at Cleveland Clinic, and it popped up on Facebook, and I was reading it to the girls. I was like, that dude had a bad fucking day. Like, it was just like so random. But how do stories like that get take
I don't know. That's a weird one. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah. The licked hand. There it is. Boom. Your urban legend you just said.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Humans can lick too.
Electric Boogaloo.
The sewer alligator, which I'm sorry, but if you live in Florida, that's true. Oh, look. Fort Recovery, Mercer County, Ohio. Even this one had to say it was from Ohio.
What's that one? I don't know if I remember that one.
The skeleton in the tree.
Oh, that one. That one was actually there's a theory behind that because that was in California, and the theory
Nope,
behind
that was in Fort Recovery, Mercer County, Ohio.
well, maybe but I know the thought behind that was it was due to a forest fire and one of those big like planes picked up.
No,
somebody.
that's the water or the water one. That's up here. The aerial water bomber picking up a scuba diver.
Yes,
and it ends
yeah,
up in a
because they were
tree.
found like a skeleton in a tree, but with wearing all scuba gear, and they think that when
Yeah.
it scooped up the water, it got a diver.
Yeah, no. This one is the skeleton of a Captain Roger Vanderberg was found in Miami County, Ohio, inside a tree along with a diary. However, no one of this name was a casualty of the 1791 battle. The story originated in 1864 from a Scottish novel.
So, not really urban legend, but creepiness. This old building that was like 6 stories tall, and it looked like a giant old Victorian building. My first
Was
job
it
when
in
I moved to
Ohio?
Maine. No, Maine. I had to do overnight security there because they were doing construction in one of the wings. And it was really weird because you just always felt like as I'm walking through the hallways of this, it was a hospital building, but it was an old, back in the day kind of thing. And you always got this weird feeling you were being watched. And I went into the basement one time looking around, and there's all these old morgue rooms. But they were like out of stone and stone walls and giant iron doors. And it was the weirdest thing. And so I remember looking up local, and we found out that this hospital used to house smallpox victims. And there's a small fort in the bay in Portland, and people take boats out, swims out to it, whatever. But what it wasn't an actual fortress. It was where they would take the people that were terminally ill from this hospital to die.
Because it was the only thing on the island. So they would basically just like quarantine them onto this island in this.
It's still there, right? You could still go visit there.
yeah.
They talked about it on My Favorite Murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like this whole like building had such an eerie vibe. And so Layla came one night and we're taking pictures of the windows on the outside, and it was fucking Orb City in every picture.
I swear they went out there too. Like, or they were gonna go. The girls said they wanted to go take a tour and actually go see it because they talked about that specific, what do you call that? Like how like everybody says it's haunted, and they talked about like I guess one specific case that like originated out there.
Imagine to be the security guard locked in there for 8 hours a night, all night alone.
Negatory. That would not be.
11 to 7 every goddamn night, 5 nights a week.
Ain't gonna be me.
Yeah. I would
right.
basically find an office that like had the internet, and I'd have my laptop, and I would close and lock the office door, and I would do a patrol once every hour and a half, check all the doors, windows, everything, and literally speed walk back to the office, close and lock the door behind me.
Yeah.
Every night. That was me
fuck that,
for
no.
like 3
No,
months.
Nope. Negatory. I would be live streaming my security detail. Like, does anybody else see anything? If anything happens to me, please get somebody to me immediately.
I look back at the screen and there's a caption. There's somebody commented with, "What was that?
Yeah.
What was what? What was?"
There's somebody behind you.
Nope. No. Look at goosebumps immediately because there would be a troll that would fuck with me. No. Fuck you, trolls. Fuck you, people.
All right. Do you want to hear what some of our listeners had
Yes.
to say? All right. Let's see who starts this off. Bam.
Da 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 da. Forever.
Yep. All right. She said, the Candyman.
Yep.
Couldn't pee alone for like a month after my cousin pulled this shit in the bathroom.
Well,
Yeah, well.
that's the place you pull shits.
Rebecca said Bloody Mary.
Which Candyman's kind of obviously like the trickle down of Bloody Mary, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was. I know that when Clive Barker wrote it, he mentioned like that there was something specific, some like that triggered the whole idea behind the Candyman, and like the fact that it was like the place where they talk about that Cabrini Green, like in New York, is like so poverty stricken, and just like the idea of like just this monster that like makes everything, I don't know, worse. But it really was, to this day, the movie that when I left theater, I felt terrible. Like, you know how you just like movies just kind of weigh you down? Like that movie was in my head for weeks after.
What about not an urban legend? It's a real fucking thing that spawned multiple other novels and films from Stephen King and the like. The Winchester Mansion.
Yeah, well, that's because sometimes you hear stories that are so like what the fuck that it you have to just start speculating as to actually perfect example. Okay, you guys know about the Maura Murray case, right? About the girl who her like how like she basically just took out like money out of her account. She bought a bunch of liquor at the liquor store and then it just looks like she got into a car accident and just disappeared. Right? Well, some people think she was like possibly abducted or that she like wandered off somewhere or whatever. But today there was a story about this kid named Bryce, and he's like they call him the male Maura Murray because his case is so bizarre. But they're talking about how the most bizarre part of the case is that he was at college, everything was going his way, and then about a week before he disappeared, he started acting off. And nobody could say exactly what was off about him, but he was just acting really strange. And so, to the point where his girlfriend one night called his mom and was like, I don't want him to leave because something is just not right about him. And he talked to his mom, and his mom's like, he sounds perfectly lucid. Give him his keys and let him go. And so she did. And then they couldn't find him. He just disappeared that night. He was like, and they lived like 6 hours away. And so they checked his credit card and they saw that there was a tire, like, you know, like a charge for a new tire or something. So they called the shop and he's like, yeah, he had a flat tire, or no, he ran out of gas. So I brought him 3 gallons, enough to get him to the gas station. He's like, but if you want, I'll go check and see if he's, you know, what happened and if he's still there. So guy gets in his truck and he goes, and the kid's still just sitting in his car. Hours later, he's just sitting there. So the kid hands the phone to him and he's like, your parents are looking for you. Talks to his mom, says he's fine. Says he's, you know, they're like, just come home. Clearly there's something wrong. Just come home. He's like, all right. Nothing. They don't hear from him. So they call the cops. The cops go back. Hours later, he's still just sitting there, just sitting in his car, not doing anything. Talk to him, perfectly lucid, everything's fine. Same thing. He says, I'll go. Yep, sure, fine. Finally, this kid Christian goes back. It's been 9 hours now. He's still there. So Christian's like, I'm just going to follow you to the interstate. Like, because now he just wants him to get on the road because it's just freaking everybody out that he won't go. What I don't understand is why the parents just didn't go get his ass because he was only 3 hours away at this point. But he gets him on the road. He follows him for 10 miles and then turns around.
Why didn't you just follow him all the way?
I mean, I guess because he doesn't know him. He's just some random stranger. But so the parents are talking to him the whole way there. Like, you know, how are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm like 2 hours out. Or no, he just kept saying, the GPS says I'll be there at 3:45. The GPS says I'll be there at 3:45. And then he says, I'm about an hour away. I'm really, really tired. And I think I'm just going to stop somewhere and rest. They never hear from him again. And the only clues they have is that he goes up this hill that overlooks a lake. And if you're looking at it, I guess it looks like the lake is right there. But like when you actually get down there, it's kind of far away. It's kind of like an optical illusion. And there's a camera that takes your picture of your license plate when you go up, I guess to make sure you come back or if you do something shitty in the park or whatever. They see his car go up twice at 2-hour intervals. And then they find his car, like, because there's like a 25-foot embankment that he just drove over. And like the car landed on its side. And then he just disappears. And they've never heard from him since. And he's nowhere to be found. Nobody's ever received a sighting. Nothing.
Damn.
But in and of itself, it's a weird case. But it's the fact that he sat in his car for like almost 12 hours just sitting there doing nothing. That to me is the kind of shit where you're, as an author, you're just like, but why? Like, was he like, I'm going to kill myself? And he's just like gearing himself up for it, you know? Like, was he trying to drive into the lake? And when he couldn't accomplish that, did he just walk into the lake and drown? Like, that's the kind of shit that gets in your head. And you're just like, but why? And I feel like that's where these kind of stories start. Like the Winchester Mansion. You're like, how could somebody who seems so like wealthy and kind of has like their life together like fall for this weird ass psychic who's just like, if you don't want to die, keep building like forever.
I don't know, man. But the creepy thing is like the way that they design the houses in the Winchester mansion too. Or they're not houses, the rooms
Yeah.
and some hallways and
Yeah, like the hallways that go to nowhere and doors that just
stairs.
have like these fucking horrifying drops that if you just open the door and walk through it, you die.
yeah. I
Like-
mean, and you know that obviously is what inspired Rose Red, The Haunting.
Yeah.
I mean, just hard pass on that one.
Last house was it the Haunting of Hill House? That was also like a nod kind of to like the Winchester mansion.
Damn.
Yeah. Like it's just is very I don't know. Like but that's my jam. Like I like the stuff that's a little
What
bit
about the girl in
spooky.
California that on the elevator that just ghosts from the elevator?
Oh, that's fucking horrific. The one they find in the water well or the top.
Because the water in the hotel got discolored and tasted funky.
Yeah, and that's
She
in
had
a really
emulsifying
super
there.
famous hotel in Hollywood. They had to change the name of it. Like that's also what's his name? Not the Zodiac killer. Who's the one with the pentagram on his hand? The Night Stalker. Not the original Night Stalker, but Richard Ramirez. He also stayed in that hotel. It's got a really shitty reputation. The season of American Horror Story Hotel was based on that one.
Yep.
Yeah. And she just kept going to the elevator and she like there's all that footage of her on the elevator like getting on and looking like she's like talking to somebody, and they said that they thought she was playing a game.
She kind of looks like she is playing.
Like playing hide and seek
and
or
then
something.
No, but
sometimes
there's-
she looks scared.
Yeah, well,
it's weird.
Because there's some like Japanese game, and I'm probably fucking this up because I only was half listening, but like if you do this series of things, like you get onto an elevator and you go to like the 5th floor and then you go to the 3rd floor and then you go to like the 7th floor and then you go to the top. When you get to the top, supposedly you'll be like, I don't know, either in like an alternate reality or you'll meet some like, I don't know, otherworldly figure. And so when she was like going just randomly to floor, they were like, maybe she was playing the game. But of course, then they were like, oh, and maybe she got, maybe she actually finished the game and she died for it. But she looks kind of schizophrenic. Do you know what I mean? And they say she was off her meds. So it could be that she was like having.
Well, then like there's like all sorts of things. Like you had to get a ladder to climb up to the top of that thing and in
Right.
there. He
And
goes,
she took all her clothes off, like, which seems like an odd thing to do to go
and then
swimming in a.
the crate, the barrel that she was found in was locked from the outside. And you needed a ladder to get up to it, and there's no ladder around. And it's
Right.
like a sheer side, it's like smooth sheer sides of the giant barrel, and there's no climbing it. There's no
Right.
like, oh, I got on this and then jumped over. There's no way up there. So the maintenance guy had to bring a ladder up to get up there. It's locked still. It's like, how the fuck did she? get
Yeah,
in
those.
there?
But I think that's how these like urban legends start. Like it's, I don't know, it's spooky as shit though.
Yeah.
Like but me personally, anytime I see people behaving in a way that's not like the norm, like even if you see somebody who is schizophrenic, who's actively in crisis, it kind of like instantly sets off like that whole danger vibe, like in your body, your whole body's kind of going like fight or flight, like
Have you ever
be
seen the
on
movie?
high alert.
You ever seen the movie The Strangers?
Yes,
It's
dear
based on a true
God,
story.
I know.
And not only that, that movie was filmed in, because I have actually the girl in The Mask, not of the adults, like the shorter, and a couple of the waiters and waitresses, I knew them because they worked at the bar that I worked at, and they were film students at Francis Marion. And that movie was actually filmed in the Florence, South Carolina area where the actual true story happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's horrific because the only thing scarier than just a bunch of people who have decided they're going to terrorize you in the middle of nowhere are a bunch of people who decide to put on fucking creepy ass masks first. Fuck you. Fuck you. Anyway, back to our audience.
Yes.
So my nephew actually said, and I forgot about this one, the urban legend that if you flash your lights at somebody who doesn't have their headlights on and they chase you down and kill you, like, I feel like there's some kind of truth to that to this day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't flash my lights at people for any reason. Like, just because I feel like because it used to be associated with like gang violence, like how people got jumped into gangs. Like that's how you decided who you were gonna kill to get into the gang.
Yeah.
And being from Florida, where we had all of the gang problems in like Miami and even in Gardens, like Palm Beach Gardens, which is so ritzy. At one point, like they closed our movie theater because the Latin Kings moved into the middle of our downtown Abacoa area because they had the Crown Theater and it had the big like crown as its icon, and so they decided that that's where they were going to start like meeting up, doing their drug deals and shit like that. So they closed the whole theater and just shut it down.
Damn.
I know.
Well, that one when I was a kid, they used to do this thing in where I grew up called cold stomping, which was a gang initiation where you would just be out walking around talking to your friends. I mean, at that point I was in 6th and 7th grade, so you'd be at the skate park / playground. And group of kids just walk up to you and just beat the shit out of you, then walk away. And that was their initiation. They had to walk up to you, beat the shit out of a complete stranger, and then leave.
People are terrifying.
Yeah, that's why I don't like them anymore.
Jennifer Zamboni also said Bloody Mary. Man, she's got quite a fan base. Great marketing. She's got a great
Just gotta
publicist.
kill people.
Let's see. Esri says, scary stories didn't scare me. None of the movie monsters scared me. I even grew out of believing chainmail with the scariest and most descriptive beast possible. Play of chainmail. Like chain letters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With scary like scary monsters?
They would say that, like, if you didn't pass this letter on, that this specific monster would attack you.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, I did read, that was the very first book I ever read by Christopher Pike. It was called Chain Letter, and it was what made me fall in love with him and the whole genre. But that is the closest I ever came to really knowing much about chain letters. Though, God, I used to fucking hate when people would send me that shit. And they used to send it snail mail. Yeah, these people took the time to lick a fucking stamp just to make my life miserable. And be like, oh, if you don't send this to 7 people, or even worse, send 7 people $1, and then those 7 people will send $1, and make sure you put your name in this slot, and when you're done, you'll have like $1,000. I'm like, why can't you people just get fucking jobs like everybody else? Anyway, moving on. Bloody Mary. Megan Cutler says, ever heard the one about the guy the babysitter saw outside the window and then it turned out it was the reflection of him standing behind her?
No. Fuck that.
So, Megan.
Wow, thanks, Megan.
That's like the one with the girl that's babysitting the kids at night, and every time the parents call, you know, she's checking on the kids, and
A stranger calls back. Like,
no,
or when
not
a stranger
that one.
calls.
No, the one where they've got that creepy clown doll, and she goes in there, and the kids have this like creepy clown, like big ass clown doll sitting in the room, kind of like Poltergeist, and it makes a babysitter really uneasy. This giant clown doll thing.
As it should.
And, you know, she puts the kids down and stuff. She goes in there, you know, checking on it. And, you know, over the next few hours, the clown doll's sitting there. And then the parents call at like 11 o'clock, and they're like, hey, we're going to be there in like an hour. Are you up for tomorrow night? And she goes, yeah, but can we do something about that clown doll? It's super sketchy, and I don't like it. And the mom stops for a second and goes, get the kids and get out of the house. And she's like, why? And they're like, we don't have a giant clown doll in the kids' room.
That gave me goosebumps. I don't like that.
Yeah. Same right now. Yeah. Yeah.
No, leave the children alone. No, God. But actually, the movie.
When a stranger calls.
Right, but the original one, not
the old like black and white.
It wasn't black and white, but the chick who used to play on the show Taxi, the one who she played in Princess Bride too. She's like she kind of got that weird high pitched voice. She was in Scrooged. I can't believe I forgot her name, but she plays a counselor in the movie, and the dude who is stalking her at the end of the movie has literally painted himself to match her brick wall. And so she's like being stalked in her own house and she doesn't even know it. And it's so well done that until he opens his eyes and steps away from the wall, you don't know he's there. And I remember, like, I audibly gasped when I saw him.
I thought the original one of that one, When a Stranger Calls, was done in black and white.
Well, no, I think what I'm thinking of is the sequel, because it was black and white, and it was the same girl who plays the counselor in When a Stranger Calls Back.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she's kind of like talking her through, because the same thing that happened to her happens to this younger girl. She's watching the kids and everything seems fine, and then all of a sudden she's getting these phone calls, and at the end of the night she goes and the kids are missing. Well, at the end of this one, I think she like opens her closet door, and the pajamas that the kids were wearing when they disappeared are hanging in her closet and nothing else. I'm telling you, it was just so fucking creepy. And I remember I watched it in the middle of the night because I couldn't sleep. And after that, I really wasn't fucking sleeping.
Horror movies were so much better when they just...
Because they're psychological. Yes. They get in your head and you're just like, fuck that. I'm sleeping with the lights
That's an
on.
interesting premise, though, because that's kind of like...
Yeah.
That's kind of like Carrie, and then The Rage Carrie 2, because Carrie happened done. And then The Rage Carrie 2 is supposedly like her little sister, and... because her mom, like after Carrie died, got pregnant again and had a little sister who ended up getting adopted. But her little sister is now in high school, and she's going through similar things, and she doesn't quite have her powers yet. But the guidance counselor that's helping her through this was the lone survivor of her sister's
The one who was
massacre.
the nice girl, right?
Yes. That she let live was her guidance counselor, and she was the sole survivor of it.
Yeah. No, I do like it when it's like a continuation of that, and they can kind of have like that thread that goes through it. Like, I don't know. They just did horror movies better back in the day, probably because they did have so many like constraints on them, like, oh, you can't be too gory, you can't. So if you wanted to scare somebody, you really had to.
You couldn't use blood and gore. You couldn't use sex. You couldn't even use CGI because they didn't really have it. So you were literally story plot line driven for a lot of this because that's all you had.
You had to really think about what is the shit that scares the fuck out of people. Like where's that line? It wasn't until The Exorcist that I think they really started kind of like...
And The Exorcist is why we now have laws with certain horror movies.
Right, because they were putting all those subliminal messages in there, and people were like passing out, and women were going into labor, and like it was just terrifying. But that's when I really think that they kind of just really started crossing the line. Like... that chick fucking herself with a crucifix.
Let Jesus fuck you.
Yeah, like, oh my God. I was like 12 or 13, and I was staying at my sister's house, and it came on at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I used to just stay up all night because my sister's house was haunted as fuck. And the guy who used to live there had hung himself in like the rec room. And so we would like sit there, and the lights would go out, and then fucking Shannon, who would be like, I don't know, maybe 2. She would start saying things like, see the man, mommy? See the man? See the man? And I would be like, you shut her up, Susan. You shut her up.
I will hit a kid. I fucking swear to God.
And my sister would be like, there's no man, Shannon. There's no man. And she's like, no, mommy. See the man? See the man?
He's flying, mommy. Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
So when I lived there, I did not sleep at night. I would sleep during the day, but I would not like sleep at night. I was terrible about it. But that's how I ended up watching like some of the most horrific fucking movies for somebody who's like 12 years old, like The Exorcist. And after that, I really wasn't fucking sleeping.
Fuck that noise. Do you remember what was the one with Lou Diamond Phillips that was surprisingly scary? The Fifth Power?
Oh, yeah. Or did you ever see the one with Denzel Washington where the guy gets killed? He's on death row. And he gets electrocuted, but then somehow he can jump from person to person.
That's that one. That's with Lou Diamond Phillips.
That's the one, right?
Yeah, the Fifth Power. And he was like a cult leader. Like, so he had these powers initially, and so he's killed. And Lou Diamond Phillips, it was the detective behind it. And so he starts coming back and possessing people and killing people.
Right, but the one I'm thinking about had Denzel Washington. And... the guy would whistle "Time is on," like that. "Time is on my side," that fucking song. And so that's how the only way he could tell when he was possessing another guy's body is he would whistle that fucking song. And that one was another one that was pretty fucking scary.
Anyway.
Well, I think we've gone deep enough down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I mean, I got nothing else. I mean, that we're gonna have another Halloween episode. I fucking love this month.
Yeah, man, this is my favorite time of year. Hocus
yeah.
Pocus
Oh,
is on.
yeah.
Practical Magic is on all the time. Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, these are my fucking favorite movies. All of my 90s jams.
Right? Fucking golden era right there, son.
It really was. The 90s were the best. I looked so fucking good. Anyway.
I was a baby. No.
Yeah. Zach's like, I was the prettiest fetus.
Wasn't I, though? All right, so... shit, where's the social media stuff?
I know, because I don't remember that, even though we've been doing this for like 3 years now.
Layla's looking for it.
In the meantime.
It's the red one. Is the red one not up there?
Great.
All
What
right.
about the next one down? I see a bunch of Why do you have so many spiral notebooks, Zach?
One's for one thing, one's for another.
I must have brought it in the other room for some reason.
All right, so
Well,
Layla,
we have social media, and you can find us. Just do
go
it.
check us out on Instagram. You go check us out on Facebook.
We have TikTok now.
We have a TikTok now. What's our TikTok?
Books and bullshit podcast.
Books and Bullshit Podcast, I think. Hold on, I'm
If
being...
I open it, it's gonna make sound.
Open
fine.
it. Make sounds.
Make sounds. Make all the sounds, Layla.
If we go any longer, my stomach's gonna make sounds.
Books and BS podcast.
Books and BS Podcast on TikTok. Go check that out as well. And as always, if you love the content, you like hearing what we do, you want more, go check out our Patreon, guys. We got tiers as low as $1 a month and tons of extra shit that we throw on there all the time. I promise you won't be disappointed. And we're asking as little as $1 a month. So go check out our Patreon if you love this content. Other than that,
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. It helps us. It really does. It helps more people see us. Please, if you can't donate money, please just donate your fingers to push the button.
oh no, please donate your fingers.
Yeah, Zach loves fingers.
All right, guys, thanks for coming by again. Till next time, later.
Bye.